Chatham House is home to the Royal Institute of International Affairs, and behind me some of the world's leading thinkers on Chinese affairs have been discussing the Europe-China relationship. Now, I caught up with Dr Hinrch Voss from the University of Leeds and I asked him, apart from the money, in investment terms, what does Europe get from China?
What Europe will get out of Chinese investments into the European Union is job creation and job securement, certainly in some areas like the so-called PIGS countries, but this might be of more importance than other regions, but it also will get a competitive push, if you like, because Chinese firms bring in more competition, which will help established European firms to reconsider their businesses and become more competitive. Also, it will help European firms accessing the Chinese market, as the Chinese firms will provide a route into the Chinese market.
This is obviously based on the assumption that Europe is an attractive investment. There's lots of positive discussion about Europe today,
yes.
Very little emphasis on the fact that we're in the middle of a big crisis. So when you compare Europe to other parts of the world, it's not a very attractive investment, is it?
It is still an attractive area to invest in, partly because of the crisis. Partly because of the crisis, you have small, medium-sized enterprises to some extent struggling economically, despite having very well and sound products. And the Chinese then come in with the money in order to kind of keep these businesses afloat. You also have to consider that in Germany, some 20,000 firms a year needs a new successor. These are family businesses, and you need successors for the next 20,000 firms a year. So this is despite any crisis, they need an investor coming in or to close down the firm. And the Chinese are some of the businesses which might help stepping into this breach and help these businesses.
But how significant a role can they play in this whole sovereign debt crisis?
Yeah.
Is it just a case of just a few billion, or can they actually have a real impact on the whole crisis?
I don't think we can rely on the Chinese firms to kind of bring us out of the crisis, because some of the crisis, the cause of the crisis, are self-made. They are kind of relating to our institutional infrastructure that the Chinese can't help at all. But they can help, if you like, European firms over this period until the European institutions have changed and further reformed. And therefore, if you like, keep European firms afloat.
Obviously, Africa's been a big focus for Chinese investment, especially because of their mineral wealth. Why would Europe be attractive as opposed to more developing parts of the world?
Europe would not be, of course, of interest because of minerals and oils, etc., except for those European firms that are located in Europe and then have assets elsewhere. Other than that, technology is a great aspect. Technology, high technology, but also access to markets. The African markets are not as well developed yet on the consumer side as the European markets are. So Chinese firms which want to sell to end consumers are more likely to invest in Europe, Japan, America than in Africa.